Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge. You can find us on the radio at icradio.media. And you know, it's something, you also find us on television locally in Alabama, North Alabama, channel 182 on Charter Communications. You can also find us worldwide, and this is where an affiliate with Abundance TV found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Again, thank you so much for watching. Wanted to talk with you about the human heart. And, you know, more and more people are having heart attacks. Seems like young folks are, it's happening to them as well. So let's talk about 5 amazing facts about the human heart. Now, I found this through AARP. And I received their magazines, and they have some really good, helpful tips. And this is just good information for us all to know about. First of all, number 1, the blood vessels in your heart are the most likely to clog. Now, let's talk about that just for a few minutes. Now, the reasons are blood flows in 2 directions in many arteries, and this is creating turbulence that can damage artery walls, which makes it easier for plaque to set in. And coronary arteries have lots of branches and bends as well, which are prime real estate, and they call it real estate for something to happen, and such as a heart attack. And I want to talk to you in a few minutes about exercise and things that we can do about that. But let's go ahead and start talking about the 5 amazing facts about human heart first. Number 2, nearly half of all heart attacks have no symptoms. I know one of my stepfathers had a heart attack, and actually what he was having a heart attack, he just had numbness, and I think it was in one of his arms, upper arm, just started feeling numb all of a sudden. Then he had a heart attack. According to a 2016 Wake Forest University, this is up in North Carolina, and they are world renowned for their activities and the research they do there. No symptom attacks, which were common in men, but deadlier in women. So that's amazing to find out as well. Number 3, and again, this is through AARP, and if you're getting the magazine, or you can go online and also find out more information about that as well. Okay, number 3, the best foods for your heart might be bananas. Wow, that's new. I didn't know that. Okay, so in a 2020 analysis of studies involving more than 4 million people, bananas were associated with 24% lower risk for coronary heart disease. But they've gone ahead and add this. But all produce helps. People who munched on the most fruit and vegetables had 11% less cardiovascular disease than those who ate the least. And also, I want to mention this, a bit of gardening also helps out. Yeah, gardening. I love to garden. And so I'm going to be actually having some more videos about that within the next few weeks. And so I've been trying hydroponics. And so I went on ahead and ordered that through Walmart. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that. They're going to be one of our affiliates for this program. And so I buy this system, and I planted seeds less than a week ago, and you know, the plants are already coming up. So we're going to be talking about those. And even if you live in an apartment and you're listening to me from anywhere, but you're living in an apartment right now, you know, you can still have your own vegetables. As a matter of fact, I planted some seeds for lettuce and for kale, and that stuff's already coming up. So I'm going to keep that in the house. I have this big sliding glass door that faces the south sun, morning sun, and so I'm really anxious about getting those things ready for you so you can view. Okay, number 4, spare parts for your heart may come from outer space, huh? Let's read this. Okay, in 2020, NASA blasted cardiac stem cells into space for an Emory University study seeking to find out whether they would become beating heart muscle cells faster in zero gravity conditions. Now, this is what happened. The stem cells became heart cells in just 3 weeks. Researchers hope to use them for heart failure repairs and therapy that could require up to 150 million cells per treatment. Kind of like stem cells kind of a thing. I'm anxious to hear the report on that it could be years before we find out. But anyway, at least they're working on it. Number 5, a great sport for your heart, grab a racket. Phil and I used to play tennis. We got to take that up again. A study that tracked 80,306 adults for 9 years found that tennis and badminton could cut risk for fatal cardiovascular disease by 59%. And it really makes sense because you're working that upper body and your arms are swinging. But they also add this, swimming and aerobatics lowered the odds by 41 and 36%. Distance running was less effective. I guess you're using your legs, body, have a negative impact. I don't know. That doesn't go on to say why that happens. Again, you can find this article in AARP. Go to the website. You'll be able to find it that way as well. Now, something else I wanted to bring to your attention. I found this article as well. And they're talking about how men actually have greater risk from heart disease when they're younger. By the time women reach their 70s and 80s, you have to be 70 and 80 for it to bypass men. It says their risk of heart disease actually exceeds that of men. And that's when you get into the 70s and then your 80s. Okay, now, could be because men have to kind of put up with us women sometimes. You think so? Okay, 4 questions before we go into a break. Let's go ahead and get into this. So 4 questions to ask your doctor about your heart. How's my blood pressure? Make sure you ask that question, okay? And odds are they're going to get that question answered before you can even ask. But anyway, it never hurts to ask. So 40% of Americans don't know their blood pressure numbers. And I'll have to tell you, I've never been in training or anything like that in the medical world, and all this stuff kind of confuses me as well. So we all need to kind of get some work on that and work on it and do a lot of research. Do your own research, okay? Make sure when you're looking on the internet, make sure that it's from a reliable source. Now, the Mayo Clinic is a real good one as well. Okay, let's see. 40% of Americans don't know their blood pressure numbers, and 64% don't know what those numbers mean. I'd be in that number group right there. A 2019 survey found normal blood pressure is less than 120/80. So that top number is 120 to 129. People are already sending messages about this. That's elevated. Now, if the top number is 130 or higher, or the bottom number is above 80, that's considered high. Okay, this is good info. I'm going to repeat this, okay? All right, we're getting that info to you. So 40% of Americans don't know their blood pressure numbers, so let's go ahead and explain that again, okay? Normal blood pressure, there's 2 numbers. The normal blood pressure is less than 120/80. So if that top number is 120 to 129, that's elevated. Now, if the top number is 130 or higher, or the bottom number is above 80, so you got to really pay close attention to both those numbers, that's considered high. Okay, so what are my target cholesterol numbers and how do I measure up? That's another question you need to make sure you ask your doctor. A total cholesterol level under 200 is considered normal. Now, you can get those little blood pressure kits as well, and they're pretty reliable, but I'd find those at a drugstore. I think they're probably the most reliable ones. You can also use Walmart.com or Amazon. I'll be getting those for you as well. But the best levels of heart-threatening low density and lipoproteins, and that's called LDLs, and triglycerides depend on your age, gender, and whether you have other heart risk like diabetes. No wonder half the people with high cholesterol in a recent study said they were confused about the best cholesterol levels for them and how to get there. I totally get it on that. And I want to tell you, now this is not necessarily doctor recommended, but let me tell you something that happened. So Phil went to the doctor. His brother Terry had a heart attack, and they're both tall and very slim built. Okay, so it was a total shock when his older brother's just a year older than he is when he had a heart attack. So that freaked me out. So I told Phil, I said, you know something? You guys, you're the same build, you're the same everything. You need to go to the doctor as well. So Phil goes to the doctor, and the doctor tells me, he said, I'm putting him on a diet. And I said, you apparently have his chart mixed up with somebody else's. He's very slender. And he said, no, his triglycerides are high, and we got to get those down. So we go home, and so I had already heard several of my friends were already taking this vinegar. It's like apple cider vinegar. Bragg's is one of the vinegars that you can get, but Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and a couple tablespoons of that. Mix it in some water, a couple 3 ounces, just whatever you don't want to taste, and then 1 tablespoon of honey. You need to find local honey. That's going to be better for you. So that was done. And so we started taking that, and he had, of course, another doctor's appointment. We were reading every label and everything with everything we bought. And I was trying to use we don't fry a lot of stuff anyway, but I was not frying anything. If we had anything that had to be fried, I was using olive oil. So I'm pretty sure that helped as well. So he's doing this for 30 days, goes back to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Wow, your triglycerides are almost normal now. What were you doing?" And so he told him about, that I've been cooking, and I was in there with him too. And I said, well, we're watching everything we eat. So I wound up being on the diet with him. I actually lost a few pounds. So I was on the diet with him. And so, yeah, folks are really interested in this. Sounds pretty cool. Okay. Okay. So with the triglycerides, the doctor said, well, that's actually helping you. And so again, the diagnosis, our little self-diagnosis, Bragg's, or it could be a store brand. Walmart has store brands as well. But just make sure that it is the kind that has the mother in it. Okay, they call it the mother, and it's the kind of vinegar, it's apple cider vinegar, and you have to shake it, in other words. And so there's this stuff in the bottom, and that's part of the apple, and it's part of the apple cider, and that's what makes it so good for you. So a couple tablespoons of that, 2-3 ounces, whatever, of water, and we do this every morning, both of us. We've been doing this for years, and then 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and that's a huge help. Okay, before we go into a break, let's look at this. Let's see. Can you refer me to a dietitian? That's another good question to ask. And again, we really want to watch what we eat anyway, and exercise. But let's talk about this one. So 59% of heart doctors say nutrition can help improve heart health as much as medications do. But in a 2021 study, 71% of doctors admitted they refer fewer than 10% of their patients to a registered dietitian. So if your doctor isn't helpful, you can search for a dietitian in your area through the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And this is a good website, eatright.org. A lot of good helpful tips on that website as well. So eatright.org. Make sure you look that up. Okay, and I think we got time for one more before we go into a break. Is it time to see a cardiologist? That's another question you may want to ask your doctor. If your primary care doctor will likely refer you to a cardiologist if you have risk factors or serious risk factors for heart disease. But speak up and ask about one if you have a family history of heart disease or a condition called hereditary cardiac. This is where specific abnormal proteins build up in the heart and other organs. And so write this name down too, and I'll have to spell the last name for you. Okay, Morehouse's, and I'll spell this for you, ONWUANYI recommends this. So you can go on ahead and do a research on that as well. Again, that's Morehouse's, ONWUANYI, and I'll put the link down there as well for you. Okay, so these are 4 questions you want to ask your doctor, and that's how's my heart, my blood pressure, how's my blood pressure, and what are my target cholesterol numbers, how do I measure up, and can you refer me to a dietitian, and is it time to see a cardiologist? Yeah, those are good questions. Okay, let's go ahead and cut into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes with some more heart tips, because I'm going to keep you around. You know, you mean a lot to me. Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Here we go.
I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful, in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain, near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. We welcome everyone through the door, and we're committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come in and get away from it all. Enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We serve breakfast and lunch 8 to 2 Friday through Sunday through the winter months through March. To reserve a special event or to reserve that special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. We have some awesome sponsors, don't we? My name is Donna Fiesel, and I am your host of The Edge. Again, thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central. And I always have a lot of fun with you. And thank you for the emails and the support you give us. And any other ideas you have for shows, I think that would be great. So I did receive an idea, and this was the importance of physical activity during pregnancy. Yeah, I remember what it was like. Yeah, you're pregnant, you put on some weight. What can I do to be healthy? So this is what happened to me. So I was pregnant. Now my son now is like 43 years old. So, but 43 years ago I was pregnant, and so gained a lot of weight, and the same things that happened during pregnancy. So I go to the doctor, and I'm just going to tell you, I was craving salt. Salt was just like my best friend to me again. And he said, you know what? Your blood pressure is way up there. That's very dangerous for the baby. And this is back before you get a sonograms and stuff like that, so you could really see what was happening with the baby. And he said, I just want to tell you, what you're eating is going to the baby too. So, what you're doing to yourself, you're also damaging your baby. Well, that stopped me. I mean, in my tracks. And that's the message I needed to hear. And so I started doing the salt substitute, but even at that, I thought, you know what? I guess I'm just not going to have salt. I don't really want it. I don't think it's going to be for me. So I found this article right here, and thank you to Jennifer The importance of physical activity during pregnancy. Okay, so this is what the article says, and you can find this at eatright.org. Eatright.org. Some great information for you out there. So, does being pregnant mean saying goodbye to swimming, tennis, or other sports you enjoy? Not necessarily. So, let's talk about it. Being physically active during pregnancy offers women many health benefits, among them a psychological lift, better aerobic fitness, and lower risk of excessive weight gain. For most pregnancies, mild to moderate physical activity benefits moms and won't negatively affect your unborn child. So consider these benefits for staying active during pregnancy. You know, that's the thing about it. Like I used to hear these old wives' tales would have me afraid to even move. And that's probably why I put on so much weight. So here we go. Let's talk about those. Okay, feel good as your body changes. You know, it's perfectly normal. You know, it really is. Promote muscle tone, stamina, and strength. And it's actually going to help you when you go into labor. Okay. Reduce leg and back pain, constipation, swelling, and bloating. Promote blood circulation, possibly help prevent varicose veins, help your posture and your balance. Yeah, you get a little bit tipsy, you know, right there from the weight shift. That happens, which can be very important for your center of gravity, okay? Because your gravity is going to shift a bit too. You'll be able to sleep better, manage stress, reduce risk of diabetes, prepare your body for labor and childbirth. So here's something else you can look at. Okay, Google this. This is Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans. It's the 2018 version of that. Okay, so according to this article, healthy women with uncomplicated pregnancies should get at least 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity spread throughout the week. Okay. Women who regularly engage in vigorous intensity aerobic activity or higher amounts of physical activity should talk with their healthcare provider about their activity level throughout their pregnancy. That means you can get up and walk. Walk is probably the best thing you can do anyway, whether you're pregnant or not. Often they may be able to continue their activity provided that their condition remains unchanged. Okay. Remember, you got two folks now. It's you and one other little thing in there or more. Often they may be able to continue their activity provided that their condition remains unchanged. Even if you didn't exercise before pregnancy, it's still a good idea to include moderate intensity physical activity during your pregnancy. Talk with your healthcare provider about how to get started. Okay, now exercise ideas for pregnant women. Let's talk about this. Okay, some forms of exercise are safer than others during pregnancy. You don't want to go overboard in this, okay? So try these forms of physical activity and incorporate your favorites into your daily routine, such as walking, swimming, cycling on a stationary bike, strength training, low impact aerobic activity training. Now stay away from these type activities, okay? That could be, and this is if you're pregnant, so contact sports such as soccer and basketball, I see that's really knowledgeable. Heavy weight lifting that involves straining, hot yoga, hiking at high altitudes, kickboxing, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Downhill skiing or snowboarding, horseback riding, roller skating, and ice skating and bike riding. So these are the activities you want to stay away from when you're pregnant. Now, if you experience dizziness, chest pain, difficulty breathing, contractions, or vaginal bleeding while exercising, you need to stop immediately and contact your healthcare provider. Again, everything in a balance, okay? That's what we're bad at, is going overboard both ways. Now, remember to eat a varied and balanced diet with enough calories to support your baby and your own needs while meeting the physical demands of your activity. Fluid replacement has even more health implications during your pregnancy, as your own and your baby's blood volume increases. Again, there's two of you now, right? If you don't drink enough fluids, you're at a greater risk for dehydration, and overeating. Now, early in pregnancy, that can affect the development of your unborn baby. So stay hydrated throughout the day with plenty of water. Most pregnant women need about 13 cups of fluid every day. That is true, absolutely. And you also need to see if you can find a dietary expert with that as well. So many things to think about, and through our health. And let's say, oh, okay, we're doing good. We have under 4 minutes left in this segment. So there was something else I wanted to talk to you really quick. And this also has to do with your heart health. Okay, so let's talk about that again. We talked about the 4 questions to ask your doctor about the heart health. And those again were, how's my blood pressure? Just write these down. Okay, have a little notepad and jot these questions down as you're thinking about those. Okay, how's the blood pressure? What are my target cholesterol numbers? And how do I measure? Now, we want to go over that one more time because I had some questions about that. And that's, what in the world are those numbers? The doctor says, you know what? You're 150 over 80 or whatever. What does that mean? Okay, let's explain that. Okay, normal blood pressure is less than 120/80. So if that top number is 120 to 129, that is elevated. So that's of some concern. Now, if the top number is 130 or higher, or the bottom number is above 80, that's considered high. Now, there are different things you can go. Any of your drugstores will be happy to run your blood pressure for you for free. And a lot of them, such as your Walmarts and some more different department stores, will also have these little machines. You just sit there, put your arm through this little thing. It gets a little tight, but you can check your blood pressure that way as well. But I really want to keep you around, okay? And I want to keep you healthy and eat the right things. That's really important as well. Can you refer me to a dietitian is another awesome question. You need to know about that. Sometimes doctors just really don't think about that. So make sure you ask that. You can also check, especially if you're a senior citizen, you can go ahead and check senior citizens. There are a number of stations that are available in your county, so you might want to check that out as well. And there are lots of free resources for you out there as well. And 59%, again, of heart doctors say nutrition can help improve your heart health as much as medications do. And, I don't want to take a whole lot of medications. There are some herbs you can grow that are going to help you with that. Basil is really good. Eat a lot of salads. Again, if you have your own garden, that's even better to raise your own salads, especially with, the times the way they are, running into a lot of issues sometimes with supply being in the grocery store. So if you can raise your own, that's going to be just an extra bonus. Go to your own little store out in your backyard, or go have a little greenhouse. They're not expensive right now. You can go to Amazon and Walmart and buy the smaller versions of those, or find some old windows and make your own little greenhouse. And you'll have your own fruits and vegetables that way as well. Is it time to see a cardiologist? That's just another awesome question you need to ask as well. Thank you so much for watching The Edge. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host, and I'll always look forward to seeing you every single day. Again, thank you so much for being with us every day, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time. We're going to go into a commercial break. We'll be back shortly with another awesome guest, so you hang in there, okay? We'll see you a little bit later.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.